This is the Comeup Collective.
Fuck is you talking about? Let's go.
Fuck you talking about?
What you talking about, nigga?
Fuck you talking about?
What you talking about,
Willis?
Alright, man.
Wow. So you telling me?
It's because I turned off my
You telling
mic.
me something's speaking back to me, which is the speaker, as I'm speaking into this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that speaker.
And it's light. I don't even hear it.
You don't hear yourself?
I hear it, but I hear myself. You know what I mean? It's weird. I'm like, where is it coming from?
Yeah, exactly. It's like some croissant, right?
We baguette, nigga. Yeah, it's like a croissant.
I
don't know why you said croissant.
I said croissant because that's how I describe light. Like, you feel me? It's light.
Light is like a
Like a
croissant.
croissant. Like, it's not too heavy. Like, you can hear it.
Like
You feel me? I told you it's a good.
That's valid.
I like that. Is that slang or is that New York slang or is that yours?
No, I think that's a Shaq original.
Is that a Shaq original?
Nah, that's a second
That's a Mobo original.
So you feel me? My ear.
See the way you make her do jogging. Sick of you, I know if you do nothing. This year, baby, no Jonesing, no long thing, no darling. See the way you make her do jogging. Sick of you, I know if you do nothing. This year, baby, no Jonesing, no long thing, no darling. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting in the work, I just want you to love me. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting in the work, I just want you to love me.
I need you to know that I can give you everything. But you the nice dresses and giant diamond. Pull up in the Benz, take a ride with me. I know that you want it cause you grind on me. Don't walk away. I love it when you're next to me. Blood pressure elevates. Let you spend the night, we can celebrate. Next day go buy expensive things. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting in work, I just want you to love me. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting in work, I just want you to love me.
Non-committal, you so on the middle, but you find a way to make my heart stop. Girl, you bad for me, the way you smile at me. We can never be a night that my fight all demand them. Try to take away from me. We go the way the designer, go check up on that Louis Vuitton LV.
What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting in the work, I just want you to love me. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting in the work, I just want you to love me. Can't love where I give was not enough. I beg you come back to me, let's make it work. I promise I'll be better. I'll be the guy that you fell for. Missing your energy, the man the way you dress for IG. Serving them looks like less, them boys they catch high blood pressure.
See the way you make her do jogging. Sick of you, I know if you do nothing. This year, baby, no Jonesing, no long thing, no darling. See the way you make her do jogging. Sick of you, I know if you do nothing. This year, baby, no Jonesing, no long thing, no darling.
What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting the work, I just want you to love me. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? What more do you want? I'll be putting the work, I just want you to love me.
Yo, what's good?
DJ Fat Flash.
Yo, what up?
Flash.
Fat Flash.
What up? I think some clowns, but
Yo, they are cold, bro. They were at the Nigerian cultural show and they performed.
They did perform.
Remedy is him and his brother. Oh my God, they're cold.
Man.
Bro. Energy and everything.
Shout out to them niggas. You feel me?
Get that shit.
T-Man the Gwee. You feel me?
Oh my God.
That man be putting in work.
They're so cold.
Man, congratulations on that song, Not Enough. Yo, stream that shit. That shit on Spotify.
Bria.
Not Enough. Bria who sings.
Oh,
Find that.
Sings
Find
wow.
that. Big shouts out. And they gave us
Fire.
the to use this on this podcast, so shouts out to y'all.
Yeah, thank you for
like y'all really putting in work with this. But you feel me? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's good?
Yo, what's good? Let's go with
Good to see
it.
y'all. Good to see y'all on this fine week 8.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. It's deep.
Corno.
About to be week
With
10.
that Roni.
That Roni going around. Y'all got to be careful.
Careful.
It's a little bit of Roni going around.
Yo.
What you called it?
Is it
Roni.
that Roni?
That shit gonna kill you.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I don't know.
Nah.
I don't know.
It's okay. We black. We don't get sick.
But it's alright though. You feel me? Because
I'm not no soft ass nigga.
like I could fight the Roni.
That's facts. Square up on Corona.
But what up, y'all? You feel me?
What's
What it
good?
do to all my melanated folks and those lacking? Welcome back to the first episode of the Come Up Collective.
Welcome back. Welcome.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a fact.
I thought that was intentional. Like back like we never been here, nigga.
You feel me? It's your boys, Makai,
Checking in.
Mama Do,
Yes, sir.
Gary,
Hola.
and myself, Shaq. What it do? You feel
What
me?
it do, baby?
For the first time listeners, the CC gives a platform for POCs to express themselves as they chase that BAG. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
All while in the pursuit of happiness, health, and of course, wealth. Come on, y'all.
This nigga said I'm comment.
We got a special episode for y'all today. So you feel me? Yo, man, show them what we got for them today, man. What we got for them today.
All about today. So episode 0 or episode 1 is really about us. About us. It's about the jokes. We for the funnies.
For the funny.
It's all about the funnies.
Yes,
It's
sir.
all about the funnies. Yo, y'all gonna learn. Shaq probably the funniest nigga. Y'all
Facts,
ever
B.
met.
I ain't.
Yo,
Oh,
you
God,
out there
bro.
lived until
I don't want to
Hey,
set
bro,
the
relax.
expectations.
That's true. That's
for
true.
the rest of
Relax.
life.
This nigga's
Feel
here.
This
the
dude
pressure.
learned how to be funny on the streets of New York. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
My dude was
Funny in
taking
New
my dude
York.
was taking a train to 125th. You know what I'm saying? On his way to that chopped cheese, bro. You know
I'm not no soft-ass nigga.
Harlem
Facts.
Village Academies. You know what it is, man. Yo, if you got the time, you know what it is. You know
Harlem
what's up.
Village.
You know what's up with it.
For all the old
You know what's up with it, bro.
Man, yo, where you say you from? Where you say you from?
Harlem.
Embezzled.
crying.
Harlem's finest.
Yeah, that's what I meant to do.
Free chocolate niggas only in Harlem.
Yes,
sir.
Oh shit, that's funny. That's
not
funny as
the
shit.
only
I fuck with Harlem and everything. I fuck with New York. I ain't even gonna hold
New York
y'all.
solid,
But
Best city in the world.
y'all ain't
It's the
got
best city
nothing
in the world.
on Cincinnati though. I want y'all to know that.
Cincinnati.
Yo, it's
But there's
okay. It's
actually
okay. Y'all
nothing
sleeping
in
'cause y'all,
Cincinnati.
y'all never been there. That's the thing. Y'all never been there.
Chili though. Y'all got the chili.
Of course, we got chili. We got
Can you take a direct flight to Cincinnati? Does Cincinnati have
Hell yeah,
an
we
airport?
do, and it's in New York though. It ain't even in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's in New York.
I mean, it's in Kentucky.
The
Really,
Cincinnati airport.
you don't even fly into Cincinnati. It's a Cincinnati airport, but you gotta fly into Kentucky.
Interesting.
That's the one thing.
Wow.
So like you gotta Uber across. It is a little bit. of a hell, but-
state line.
Yo, the slaves came through Cincinnati though.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Underground Railroad was through Cincinnati. So all,
Oh, wow.
Tell me what through there.
y'all ain't even African American over here. So all my African American homies back there.
That's facts.
Like, you're welcome.
He holding it down. Representation matters.
Yo.
You holding it down.
Representation matters. But as y'all all know, you feel me? This podcast is meant for only one type of demographic. That's not true. Multiple types. This for the hood. But it's mainly for that demographic.
I just want to
Yeah.
say, no, I'm playing.
G, tell them where you from. Tell 'em where you.
Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Definitely low income. Still don't jack the hood like that.
This man
But
here.
I'm incredibly thankful to be here.
Where you from, though?
Oh, yeah, you know a nigga from Miami. You know how it is, bro. You know, born and raised, Hialeah, Florida was good. You know how it is. You know, a nigga just be moving. You know, I'm based in Broward now. You know, 954. You know how it is. You know, I be living that life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, I be liking that pub sub, nigga. Tender. Darling, nigga.
Yeah. We with all of that.
Oh, nah, but this podcast for people from anywhere. I don't care where you from. Cincinnati, New York, Miami,
Facts.
San Francisco. Nah, not really.
You just can't
Not
be
really
from
San
Palo Alto.
Francisco.
San
Nah, it don't
Francisco.
count.
I guess Bay Area or something.
You can't really be from Palo Alto.
East Bay.
Yeah,
East Bay.
yeah.
I fuck with Oakland, though.
Yo, for real, this for anybody who own a come up, waiting to be on a come up. Sometimes you ain't even hit your wave yet. right?
That's valid.
Sometimes you just tuning in. This is for all our allies.
You take them.
The rich
Shout out
niggas.
Yes, sir.
I
What's our
never-
Venmo?
Send us
What's our
money.
Venmo? Let's send our allies.
Cash App me.
All of this shit borrowed.
That is actually facts though.
Nah, I'm excited for what we got here today, though. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. So come on, let's get into our agenda. I'm gonna pose our first question. So how did it feel when y'all made money for the first time? What was that? I'm talking about when you was like, oh yeah, this a bag, this a bag.
Damn.
Money. I don't know if it was made, but I'm thinking about as soon as I got into Stanford. You know that first $2K they bless you with? That little welcome grant. Welcome. Little sign-on bonus. That shit was wild. So basically, in addition to paying your tuition, if you poor, they bless you with this little 2K drop direct deposit in your bank account. It's obviously to buy like clothes, like buy some Tide, whatever you have, whatever you don't have, right? And when I got this notification. I was on my bed. I'm like, whoa.
That remittance.
I'm telling you, it was the first 4 digits ever hit my bank account. Oh my God.
First 4.
Goosebumps. But immediately what I did right after was, because I would also see like Instagram videos of my friends who started college already, because Stanford don't start till like late September. So like now it's like August. And I'm like, oh shit, I could visit all these niggas. So I took my Megabus. I don't know if y'all know Megabus. Prices start at $1. $1. But I took Megabus tickets and I went to see all my friends on every East Coast
Damn, your mom
school I
let you
could
do
think
that?
of. Yeah.
Be safe. Be safe, that ass.
Did you actually?
With love,
did
though.
you actually tell her you were just gonna go to all
I
those
gotta
schools?
tell her. My mom just trusts me so much, low key. It's an interesting trust. She just trusts me because she don't know what I be up to, but she know I be doing shit. I just
She
told
know
her
you
like,
got good grades. That's
yeah, I think that's what it is. That's the
He got straight A's. He good. He good.
So you gonna be good.
smart.
But I went travel, and I think that's money was freedom. I think that's what it showed me. Money was this bus ticket. Money was I could eat whatever I want when I go somewhere. I'm like, whoa, I got options. I can't just order those 2 things.
No more
I could
chicken
just-
nuggets.
No
more
more
dollar
chicken nuggets. No
menu.
more kids meal. We don't do
Double
that no
the
more. We order from the big boy menu. Nah. But
I
yeah,
want the combo.
now with fries and a drink. Yo, this nigga laughing.
A number? You chose a number? You ordered a number off the McDonald's menu?
It'd be like that, yo. It'd be like that. How about y'all? Money.
Sheesh. Nah, I think you got it first.
Me. I don't know. Like I think just to vary a little bit, definitely the welcome grant was like huge. Scholarship, shout out RBS, like that was definitely big. But I don't think I felt like I started making money until summer after freshman year. I had interned at Facebook.
Oh.
Yes, we need
What a name to drop.
That's a big name right there.
Name to drop.
Facebook. Yo, Mark, sponsor us.
What they call him? They call him Zuck.
Zuck. Yo, Big Zuck.
When you
I call him in the office. That's what y'all call him in the office, right?
You call him Zuck.
Zuck.
Big Zuck.
Big Zuck.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Nah, but what's it called? Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but like I feel like it was more so the lifestyle. Like they were paying for like our housing, our food, Ubers to and from work, and like that wasn't really money that I was seeing directly. But like even then, like it was just wild for me to be living that kind of lifestyle. So I think more so than anything, like when I got money for the first time, like I felt that change.
That's
like
true.
there is like a difference in like the aura, like the kind of things that you care about just completely shift. Like I was like, man, let me try. What am I doing this weekend?
You got options when you pull. You got options.
The world is my oyster.
Honestly, bro, like it's just wild. Like you actually like like the time that you actually have like the amount of time that you have not worrying about money. Like that's what the change really feels like. You're just like, wow, like I could idly just sit by and be okay. Like
Facts.
not out here struggling to think about all this other stuff.
What'd you do with some of your money?
Ooh,
What'd you do with that?
what did I do
That
with some
check.
of that money? I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I bought my mom this $600 purse, bro. A purse,
Wow.
bro. I was hyped. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's awesome.
moms, but I'm gonna put you on blast right now. Oh, God, bro.
She probably lit about it.
Bro, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Like my whole life, South Florida, bro. South Florida got all the knockoffs. Like I know Chinatown for y'all is like huge and all this shit, bro. But like South Florida always got the knockoffs. My mom always had the newest one. So I, like at least for me, like I was like, damn, like this is about to be like a real bag. Like there is no inspection, and if there is, there's no hesitation. Like this is a real bag, bro. That was huge for me.
That's real. That's big. I like the fact that one of the first big things you did was for your mom.
Yeah.
Shout out moms.
Shout out to your mom, man. I
love you.
your mom, bro.
I love you so much.
Yeah, she a real one, bro. I love that mom.
That ass.
Why you, Shaq?
For me, yeah, on the very similar to work tip, man, like last time I interned at City, stupid, bruh. I'm talking capitalism. I know y'all hate that shit, but me, I'm eating off that shit. Fuck y'all niggas talking about. That shit was yummy, nigga. Hungry hippo, nigga. Fuck these niggas talking about. Oh, down with the system. Whoa, slow down.
Right?
Is that shit, bro? The way that my whole life is definitely the lifestyle, bro. The way my whole life changed. My mom's, the way she ain't have to worry about rent no more. It's like, hold on, I got that. Chill out, sweetheart. The way I was holding it down for everything. And usually for me, I like to save up and then, like, you know, help out family all the time type shit. Like me, I ain't really what's the word, frivolous? That's not the word. I don't know the word.
No, I guess the opposite.
Like you're not trying to spend a lot of
money?
Yeah.
I'm very frugal, you feel me? I don't just spend bread a lot on myself. So I don't like all the time like buy myself clothes or new shoes or any shit like that. Usually I spend it on family a lot. Like, you feel me? Like I'll buy my mom something or I'll buy my sister something type shit. So like for me it was crazy, and like I guess my entrance into that space, that banking space, was really weird too, just because I never knew what the fuck banking was, nigga. I thought that shit was going to the teller and put your card in, that's it, like, you feel me? But seeing what it really means and just how global it is was really dope for me. So it was like, not only do I got bread now, but like I got bread to really understand what I'm doing with it. Like I got the knowledge too to match with it, you feel me? So that was really dope. And I remember I was like hesitant. My mom was like, yo, you in that type of space, you need to get something nice for yourself. I was like, I ain't getting nothing nice, you feel me? She ended up copping me a Louis Vuitton wallet, my nigga. Like, when she copped me that shit.
Hey, bro, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Don't that have your initials on it?
It's nice. It's nice.
Come on, little Louis.
It's some nice joint. It's some nice joint. Chill. They can't even see that. They can't even see the initials. But that shit was fire for me. And I ain't gonna hold you. I really sat there and I was like, yo, thank you. And like for me, I'm not used to that. So I low-key blacked on my mom's. I was like, why did you get this, and that? And I felt bad. I called G about it. I'm like, I felt bad because I'm so used to money being an issue that I'm like, damn, you just went and spent that much bread for what?
Facts.
And she like, yo, you deserve it though. And I'm like, nah, I don't need this though. Like, that's what money was for, necessities, what you need. But I finally got money for what you want, like, you feel me? And I ended up getting that. And of course, I paid her back and whatnot, but that shit was just dope to have, like, you feel me? And now, you feel me? I'm in the little game a little bit, you know, stepping up my swag a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that shit was, really dope though. But I know, God, this nigga know about money, man. This nigga for real.
Mind over money.
Oh, God.
I think the biggest skill I probably gained, like, I'm in tech, so, I got the money pretty early. But I think even more important was the money for me was learning how to handle it. Or having money to handle.
For real.
That was big. There's no reason to learn how to budget if
you ain't got no money to budget.
You got bills. Right? That's actually pretty wild. But I really enjoy being a what they call me? Financial literacy associate. I be dropping knowledge every couple of yo, everybody who on the Stanford campus, y'all better pull up to some of our events.
Facts.
Y'all wanna learn how to invest, save, budget. We got all that for you.
Taxes.
We got coaches for taxes.
All that. But when was the first time you really made money?
First time
how did it felt? You feel me?
The first one, the big change was when I came out here to California. I know the minimum wage was so fucking high.
Facts.
Oh, yeah. That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Bro, it's at
Ohio,
least
it was
$16.50 on campus, bro.
Yeah.
$16.50, bro.
In Ohio, minimum wage $8.10. I remember celebrating when it went up 5 cents.
My fault, bro. We from New York. New York got it a little higher than that.
I think like 10 or something.
It's a little different. The Midwest a little different. You go a lot further with a little bit less. You know what I mean? But $8.10 minimum wage. I remember celebrating when I got $8.15.
Wow.
I remember I treated myself to like Golden Corral or something. Like, I was like, y'all ain't even got to worry about it. I'm paying for everybody.
That's not funny.
But no, when I came out here, my first job they gave me like 18.
16.
I'm like 18.
That's beastie.
God damn, for nothing.
Niggas, I could do this full time.
How many hours you want, my nigga? Like, yeah, I got you. They was like, okay, you can max work 16. I'm like, okay, I'll do 10 for you. Everything, but that was a bag, and to get that, like, I didn't even have to work when we came out here. You come to college on full scholarship, you really don't have to make work.
Nope.
Like, you get your remittance check at the beginning of every quarter.
Depending on how poor you are.
That's true. That's
There's other
true.
niggas that be.
Us poor folks are getting that remittance check.
Yeah, some middle income folks, y'all.
Yeah.
Not low income.
That's what that means. If you're not getting a remittance check, now you know.
If they're not giving
Now
you
you know.
money at the end of at the start of every quarter, just think about it.
No lie.
I just want to let you know.
But you know, like on God though, you know,
We
like,
love y'all,
all,
though.
all experiences are valid and all this other stuff. But it's
Valid.
just it's important
It's
to
not
realize that some struggles are fundamentally,
Like,
They're like, we got you with the
worse than
toothbrush.
No
That's
lie.
what they tell you when they give you money in the beginning of the
no
quarter.
lie, when I logged into Access, like this, when you log into Access, that's basically like Stanford's portal or whatever for your grades and school and all that shit. There's a second side apparently for you to pay.
Yeah.
I didn't figure out this shit. I didn't know about this shit until this year. Like apparently you could pay stamp. I'm like, nigga, what? Like I accidentally logged into that shit. And I'm like, whoa.
What is this interface?
But like I've never been there before. That shit's been crazy to me. Usually they'll throw on like, oh, you're supposed to pay $25,000 for this semester. 2 days later, that shit just disappeared.
Yeah, facts. That shit just. And think about it, if you go on that page, you could pay in any currency. And that's what really gets me about Stanford. They be like, what currency you want to pay? And I'm like, oh.
Oh, because international people.
Exactly.
That's
But it's just
wild.
to me, it's just wild to think niggas.
They Stanford want money.
this
They don't
in every
care how
currency,
you
like,
giving it to them.
That's crazy, man.
Every currency.
Oh.
That's
wild.
funny, bro. But yeah, we ain't gotta do that. We ain't gotta do that.
real.
But so all the money we make is all in our pocket. Go straight to our pocket.
For the
Oh,
most part.
you send it back home.
For the most part,
Or you send it
yeah.
back home.
You pay
Yeah,
bills.
I mean, I guess that's what money affords you.
Yeah.
The option to do something with it.
That's a fact.
I'd even say like more broadly, that's what academics lets you do. It's like even being here, bro. Like we don't pay anything for like. Thank you. He was telling me where to move up.
Let me get a little closer.
Nah, but like even here, like we don't pay anything to live in a place where the average like rent is like what 18, like 19, like
For your own room, like whoa.
literally we get food, we get 3 meals, bro. Well, 2, but you know what I mean. Like, you don't
That
need
shit
more.
crazy.
Eat. You ain't gotta worry about being hungry at
That's
night.
a fact.
Yeah, that's valid.
All throughout the month. Niggas on food stamps. End of the month come up. We getting hungry.
Ooh, yeah.
It's
2
about
days
that
in.
time, y'all. About that time. Don't eat too much.
You can't get the nice stuff no more.
You start looking at the corn. The corn and the green beans.
Shout out government assistance, man.
That's facts. Did you know EBT updated? Now they give you this card that looks like a Visa card.
Yo, it's been like that.
It's been like that
Really?
for a
When I had it, it was
minute.
like white. It said you poor when you was typing that shit. It was. And now that shit look like a credit card. That's crazy.
Yeah,
got
bruh.
tapped.
That's crazy.
It used to be paper.
That's no. It's for those people in the suburbs. In the city, you don't get the paper. You never got the paper.
Oh,
yeah. And it's, I think in the suburbs you get the paper. Then you go to a grocery store and then they tell you get 2 milk, 2 breads. In the city, you get.
That's
Nah,
hella
yeah.
interesting.
Wow.
We
Okay.
never ended up on food stamps.
Oh really?
Super interesting. Yeah, I had a lot of relatives. My mom was like super prideful about that though.
That's real.
Like we eating rice and chicken every day. Like it's just what it is.
That's real. That's also a big problem. That's one of the biggest problems with food stamps. The shame it causes on people.
That's true. Pride is a big thing for poor families.
Facts.
You spend a lot of your time trying not to be poor.
Yeah.
That's not trying to look poor.
Yeah.
And that shit is wild to me coming here because it's like people that should have like all this like poshness and all this stuff. These is nasty, bro. Absolutely disgusting.
That's why the Roni gonna fuck us up.
You said what?
That's why coronavirus gonna- It make it to campus, we are fucked.
Facts.
Shit already on campus, bro.
Let's not talk about that. Go skip that over. We'll stand for flag this shit down.
That's valid. That's valid.
Man, I thought wealthy people should have cleanliness.
Yeah, it should be at least
That
clean.
The thing is, they pay people to.
That's facts.
That's facts.
Nanny cleans
That's
it up.
facts.
Yeah, that's
Also,
probably it.
bro, I hate going to use the restroom, bro, and then just hearing people walk out without washing their hands.
Yeah,
You hear the
That's the
toilet
for
flush,
life.
Yeah.
and then the door closed.
And then I see that
the for
nigga,
life.
like, I enter in and he looking at me and I'm looking at him. This nigga want to give me the little. I'm like, nigga, fuck you laughing at, nigga. Go wash your fucking hands, nigga. Fuck this shit in a joke, nigga. Fuck wrong with this
When
nigga.
niggas waking up in the morning talking about, should I brush my teeth this morning?
Nigga, what?
Like,
Like,
yo, Connor, that's not an option. Connor with a kid.
Axel, Axel, please.
man.
Hell nah.
Oh man.
Nigga said Carter. That's not an option. That's funny as shit.
Yo, let me put some of our viewers on to some free game real
What's up,
quick.
please.
I don't know if we might have people in high school right now on a come up, having dreams, reach for some shit, being hungry every other night or some shit. Let me know. There's a future out there. Let me put you on some free game. Apply to those prestigious universities.
That's
We
facts.
haven't said this, but we at Stanford right now.
Yeah.
And we joking about this shit. Remittance checks, all this. You get that when you apply to those Ivy Leagues. You look at that price tag online, that's not your price tag, my guy.
Facts.
That is not your price tag.
That's facts.
Apply.
No, that's real.
Apply to those
And
Ivies.
that applies to elite private institutions, many of them. And that includes, it doesn't have to be an Ivy, it could be like a Wesleyan. You're talking Amherst. You're talking this big elite private schools that cost $40K a year to go to. Poor people ain't paying that. And it's honestly not even like, you could be middle class in this country and you're still not paying that. Because you'll see it'll be like $75K and less. You're probably going there for free. And this applies to all these schools.
It's 125 here. Just to put that in.
It just went up to 150.
Damn.
So
See?
that mean that like if your parents making 150K, you get free, you get your tuition paid for, which is it's interesting. I don't know. It's very interesting to me because I'm like, damn, we should be really helping out the like handful of niggas out here who, yes, we get everything paid for, but that don't mean like everything paid for. You feel me? Like Stanford still expects you to work, just to somehow give back to your to your education. Niggas still, you gotta pay for course fees and all this different stuff. And like, it'd be weird too when you have to send mad bread back home. Like a lot of that money you don't see yourself. So that's the thing. Like I agree, increase it for the rich, like help them out, do whatever, but also make sure to cater to the very few fly students on this campus. And more importantly, admissions, y'all need to enroll more fly kids, more hood. That's more diversity. These niggas, you accepted 80 kids from fucking, what's these private schools in fucking Northeast of New Hampshire, Phillip, Exeter, all that shit. You accepted 80 kids from there, but you can accept one or two. You accepted 2 niggas from Harlem in like the last 4 years or some shit. Like, come on, like you really need to start investing in the hood, my G. Like for real. How can you talk about changing your classrooms, but nigga, you never bring that shit. Like you don't want to bring the change makers here. That shit corny.
Yeah, I think it's also just like very important to, cause like we've like heard the statistics, right? Like the first gen student, it's hard for first gen students to end up leaving this place, especially in like 4 years, and like it is wild to see like how difficult it is they make it to like get to these resources.
That's facts.
Like, Mama, you were telling me that financial aid could like a financial aid office could help you with like dental procedures and all this other stuff.
Facts. And,
Like, there's tutors on campus. People don't even know about that.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about it too, and this is especially the case for fly students, asking is the biggest thing.
Oh.
I'm thinking about like all the rich kids and stuff that I was going to class with, asking for extensions on stuff, asking for extra help, demanding shit from like the professors and all this stuff.
Demanding. That's the word.
Shit. Like
you ain't even, they ain't even requesting.
that level, that level of agency, bro. Like
They feel like they deserve it.
They do,
Yeah.
Literally, what you mean? I pay for this shit.
That's facts.
Fuck you
That's
mean?
real.
This is
They will
mine.
ask for anything.
All right, so let me play devil's advocate real quick.
oh god,
What would y'all say about the fact that they say poor kids just don't have the profile to make it into Stanford when they if they do apply, because that's one big thing. First they'll self-eliminate and saying like, oh, Stanford, these white colleges aren't for me. Number one, why the hell will I apply? But then for the ones who do apply, they're like, that nigga, they'll look at a profile and say, oh, nigga, that's not impressive. They weren't as involved as their white counterparts or their richer counterparts, let me say.
I think I don't know, I guess I have strong feelings on this, just specifically. I think when people push that narrative, what people are forgetting the most is context. And I think some schools are getting better at doing it. Stanford's getting better at doing it. But when you look at a student, let's say, like for me, you look at a student Went to public school that wasn't all that good. It was alright, whatever. Like when you look at a student in context, only then do you see how amazing it was. If a SAT is out of, what is it out of now, 1,600? And a kid got 1,200, and the average score for Stanford is 1,500, but that 1,200 that kid got was the highest their school has ever seen, what does that say? What does that say about the excellence that kid can achieve within their context? Now imagine they grew up with all those kids and went to private boarding schools or whatever. Imagine what else they would have achieved. Imagine they could afford to pay to play lacrosse and all these extra sports and go out to research science camps and all this good stuff. Imagine what they could have achieved. So I think the biggest thing I say to that is, like, have you thought about that kid's context? Like, but yeah.
That's real.
Yeah, I think the problem definitely stems specifically from even just saying profile. You know what I'm saying? Like, that already is putting limitations on what's expected, and then that in and of itself is an implication of like what is accepted, what is deemed good, what is deemed academic. You know?
Yeah, that's also valid.
So I second everything you said, especially around context. Like, it's wild to me, like there'll be kids that have all of these resources and still hoping to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine like some of the people that I went to school with, if they had any semblance of the amount of resources that some of these kids have. And I'm even thinking about like just like broader contribution to the campus. Like, people from these backgrounds have a perspective that I think makes Stanford that much better. When it comes to like in the rooms where people are making decisions about research, software, like all these problems that we facing down the road, like could all be addressed just by including people and listening to people so early on.
I think sometimes people don't even know what to put on their app that's qualified. So one thing I'm thinking of is like my little brother resells sneakers. That's a business. This nigga been doing this for 3 years. That's entrepreneurship. He been selling sneakers on the Comeup, waiting in lines. Like, niggas write the same thing here, but in like a different context. They be like, hey, what? I just feel like kids be talking about they started businesses here. Like, if you been selling sneakers,
your parents did that.
Yeah, your parents did that. Facts.
How you gonna start? Nah.
But if you've been selling sneakers for 3 years, write on your college application. Like, you literally had a business. You've been making money. Like, that's literally profit. And now you know how to market that, whether that was via Instagram and knowing who your customers were, paying niggas to pay you to stand in line. Like, that was a business.
Facts. So let me put that too. When I work or when I go out to these high schools to like talk to low income folks around here, I always tell them, like, you applying to these colleges, bro, your essays is how you gonna stand out.
Facts.
Put that shit in your essays, because the experiences you'll have when you from the hood, like, unique as hell.
Yeah, facts.
Right, like selling shoes. Ain't too many niggas talking about selling shoes on their thing. I even forgot what I wrote about, to be honest. But like, your essays could make you stand all the way apart. You be like, okay, maybe you didn't have the highest GPA or the highest SAT or ACT scores, but you write that essay that grabs the heart of your admission officer. Oh man, you're in. You're in.
You got him.
For me, the main thing about it is like going back, like, nigga, if I could get a fucking like low ass SAT score, or not even like the lower percentile SAT score for Stanford, and I got hunger issues at home, I got to work, I got mad other shit to do, and you, or not you, but like individuals who go into these boarding schools and private schools, who live on campus, have free meals, have housing, and y'all niggas can get the same score or higher. Like, y'all just not, like, you feel me?
We're not trying to invalidate all the problems you might have.
We not at all.
Think about those.
But we just saying that, like, we got to the same place and we have so much less than y'all. You feel me? And getting in is one of the hardest shit too. You get in is hard, but then staying in is ridiculous. I'm not gonna hold you. I come from a high school where 50% of the black men drop out in the first year. You feel me? I love my high school. I go back and talk to them all the time, but it's difficult to even convince a kid to apply. Feel me, to an elite institution like Stanford. Like, shout out some, you feel me, my son Lasan, you feel me, my young son got into Cornell. He been doing that. He's a freshman there. You feel me? Like, it's hard to even convince a kid to do some shit like that. Do whatever.
I forgot.
It's hard. It's hard to convince a kid to even do something like that, because it's like niggas be like, oh, I can't do it. I'm like, not like those kids. It's like, you is, young, and you is.
And it's a cultural, like, adaptation. Like you gotta adapt once you get here.
Facts.
Oh man.
Like, you gotta learn real quick.
You gotta learn quick. You gotta start picking up that. First of all, you gotta start picking up that not everybody poor.
Yeah.
Facts. Especially black people.
Right?
Especially black people.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Some of y'all niggas got money.
I came out here. I'm like, I met
Jack
these
and
niggas.
Jill.
That's a difference.
I didn't even know what the hell Jack and Jill was.
Yeah,
Facts, bro.
Jack and Jill, who's that?
Who that?
I haven't met them yet.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think also on that tip, kind of just like even more so now, like addressing like some of the folk that in college right now. I feel like everything was like being here was super discouraging for me, especially freshman, sophomore year. It wasn't until like it's kind of like, let's say like this is an analogy, right? Like everybody's trying to graduate again in 4 years. Let's say that's the race, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really difficult in that race to realize that y'all gonna end up in the same place. And on top of that, it's even more difficult to realize just how fast you're moving. Like people coming over here with all these resources, with all these head starts and all this other stuff, but the amount of ground you're making up in the same amount of time it takes them to get a degree, that in and of itself, like is such like a radical thing, and you need to like it's very important to make sure that you're holding yourself to your own standards and not somebody else's.
Oh yeah, we podding.
So it's like
we podding.
like in your analogy, right? It's like if niggas is running a mile, right? Fly kids maybe get in at like a quarter. Like you in the 1/4 of a mile done. These rich niggas at 3/4 of a mile in a fucking Bugatti, like racing towards the finish line, laughing, doing drinks with their professors, and you over there just running along. Nigga.
That's real. I like the fact that we moved into, what it's like to be during college. Like I think it's one important thing of like, as you're struggling and adjusting, especially that first critical year, you definitely got to find your community. Yeah. Right? So any of these freshmen around here watching this, bro, find your community, bro. Because you would be struggling and not be around 5 people and think you the only nigga struggling. You looking around, you like, how are you? What? Like, you hiding your score and shit, bro. Like, we struggling too out here.
100%.
It's all in the adjustment, bro. Especially that first year. Like, you can't hold yourself against that, bro. Like, you just up the stakes very high in terms of rigor of all that. So it's big to find your community and build off of that. Right? I don't think I would have made it to senior year without my niggas over here.
Ooh, that's facts. I would not still be here.
I might have been gone my second quarter, my nigga. I came in here after quarter number 1, a nigga had a 1.8.
Ooh.
1.8. I was like,
stuff for life.
we going back to the hood, y'all. We going back home. Maybe I should just enlist or some shit.
That's real.
I could. You imagine going back, bro. You back at the same. I worked at Subway. You back at the same Subway. Customers coming. Oh, you're back. Yeah. Yeah. But it's just a little break though. It's just a little break.
Damn, that's real, man.
You going back to work at the deli?
Real, man.
Going back to work at the deli? Ew. Hey, ain't you the Stanford nigga? Yeah, but I serve chopped cheese now.
I like it better.
Yo, because when you leave your community, like, you on top for a little minute. You get into Stanford, people know your name and shit.
They
don't really know where Stanford at, though.
Yeah. Niggas be saying Stanford.
I'm like, yo, whoa, it's not Stanford, Connecticut. We going to the East Coast. I hate that Stanford, Connecticut shit.
At the same time, though, I do want to realize that we do have privilege when it comes to this shit.
100.
Like Stanford, nigga, you enter rooms and niggas know it's Stanford. Like, you worked hard to get in here. And at the same time, being fly at Stanford is very different than being fly anywhere else. And that's my biggest distinction I want to make. In the sense of, like, when you're on campus, like, you got 3 meals a day. You got late night food. You got all this other stuff. You get, like, a card, like your ID card already has money on it type shit. You get mad shit paid for you, room and board. Whereas, like, there's students, like, down and up the block in, like, SF State or San Jose State. And it's like, I know my sons, I have a few friends there who, like, for real, like, this shit is difficult for them. Niggas is dumpster diving. Niggas is living out their cars. Niggas is doing all this shit. And, like, it really make me check myself of, like, yo, yes, like, niggas can struggle here too. but it's not the same type of struggle. You feel me?
not at
Like
all.
we
Facts.
privileged as hell.
It's
for
crazy
real.
to think that we got to think about our privilege now.
That ass.
Wow.
Right? It's
Nigga, like,
oh, shit,
we
yeah,
have
this
some
is
shit
wild.
called the opportunity fund, nigga. Like, you
That's
need
a
a
safety
suit.
net.
You need a suit. Type some shit up. Show that you poor. You fit the income bracket, nigga. You gonna get that shit soon. Like that shit crazy, bro.
It's
Like,
valid that you
amazing.
need it and everything, but the fact that you have access to that,
that's wild.
yeah, or just like even our summer study abroad programs, where like
Facts.
you low key, if you got no plans for the summer, sometimes at worst you apply for like any of the community service fellowships.
Yeah.
You could get money. It's like the most private school shit ever. Like you apply,
Go
low key
volunteer.
is it's a little easy to get. You apply and you can spend your summer working anywhere doing anything.
Facts.
Most kids don't have access to that.
Facts.
That's 5-6K. They paying you to just like even though you're doing dope work or whatever, but kids don't have access to that. Some people still gotta either go back home for the summer or
Gotta
privileged poor, man.
recognize.
Facts.
Privileged poor.
Oh, yeah, we potting, y'all.
Biden.
Body.
I'm trying to know that.
Yes, sir. But at the same time, still get your coin from the university. You know,
Yes,
you always
sir.
want to.
Embezzle.
Always want to embezzle.
Embezzle.
That's true. Finesse these resources.
Facts.
Yo, I ran across this little quote the other day. Y'all know Biden said, this is Biden quoted, poor kids are just as bright as white kids. Sheesh. A hell of a little slip up right there. The media murdered this nigga.
Killed that nigga.
Murdered.
Oh God, bro, fuck that nigga Biden, bro. Oh God,
Really? That's
Really?
100%.
He probably
Suck
gonna
my-
win the Democrats.
Say, did what he did.
I couldn't have my mom's may watch this.
Sorry, mom. I love your mom. Your mom is so funny, bro.
What? Yo,
Your
she
mom
be having me
is
dying.
cool. Your
bro.
mom is a clown,
Well, you
bro.
haven't met my mom yet?
Yo.
I haven't met your mom. I'm gonna meet her this
this nigga
summer.
Shaq's mom is a
Hilarious.
clown.
Yeah, bro. She be having me dying. Like, niggas be like, oh, like, why you always gotta come back? Or why you always, like, so witty or can crack back at somebody so quick? Nigga, I'll be coming to my house, my mom come my ass. Like, instantly, she'll flame me. Like, into the crib. Yo, fatty, what you doing, nigga? Like, instantly, nigga. And, like, my crib, you gotta have tough skin. That don't mean you can still be like, what's the word? You was using it early, like timid. You can still be kind.
I said that?
Yeah, you said it
That
early.
ain't in my vocabulary.
I go see
I
it.
ain't
It's
say
in
that.
the videos. He said that shit. But like, you feel me? You can still be like that, but she will cut your ass, nigga.
That's real.
That's funny. So comedy
for the
is
world.
hereditary.
That's a. See, look what he doing. Why you doing that? Why you doing that?
Stop it.
Why you doing that? Yo.
I'm not no soft ass nigga.
Stop playing with me, motherfucker.
Because we could step outside and run a 30.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No Messi. No Messi.
That's funny as hell.
I think I'll win. If for some reason we all had to fight, I feel like I'm coming out on top of that.
I'm
think-
giving you
you
that.
think
I'm
you
not
beating
fighting
me?
you.
I'm not
do.
fighting, bro.
You think-
I'm not, bro.
You think you beating me?
I think I would.
Nah,
I'm
yo.
not him.
I think I would.
Nah, you don't know this nigga. You
I
talking
think
to
I would. I ain't
Ohio
even gonna hold
wrestler.
you. I ain't even
Get
gonna
that
hold
shit
you.
But
Shut
I ain't
up.
wrestling.
If you grab
But
me,
I ain't
it's
wrestling.
over.
You
Yo,
right, but I ain't
nah.
wrestling.
Get
I'm not letting this nigga
I
grab
got
me.
hands too.
I just
Don't
want-
sleep.
Makai try to fight me. I'm grabbing a
Just one
stick.
thing. Just one thing.
Okay, let me hear it.
Punches can't stop bullets, nigga.
Yes, nigga.
All the Florida folk, you know what it is.
Yo, that's crazy. Y'all niggas is
hell nah,
hilarious,
my
B.
nigga. All right, y'all. Let's go back to these questions. Let's go back to
Talking
these
about that
questions.
Biden question, no?
That Biden. I mean, I brought up that Biden thing, but it wasn't too deep. It wasn't too rich of discussion. So we just gonna move on.
That was a good pun.
Which of it is that? Yeah, that's real.
Can't say it.
He
He just realized.
I didn't even beep it. That was
Biden.
wow. Okay, bad. Okay.
This is the Comeup Collective.
My fault, y'all. We just had to do a little technical shit.
Little technical
It's
shit.
episode
back.
1. They ain't gonna say shit.
They ain't gonna say shit.
Y'all got a problem with it?
Say something.
Me.
Say something. I dare you.
Oh, y'all need to fix y'all editing.
That ass.
Y'all gotta be more smooth. I don't wanna hear it.
Facts.
Play that Devere shit.
Man.
I'm not no soft ass nigga.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Via, you heard me? Yeah, one of the realest on campus.
Facts.
One of the real.
Facts.
Shout out Philly. Shout out Meek Mill.
Oh
Go
God.
to a whole stream of shout outs.
I let's get back to this. So we get the hell out of here, bro. It's fucking finals week, yo.
Let's talk about,
Niggas
talk
got
about
finals
money.
coming up. Y'all ever
Let's
felt?
talk about selling out.
Y'all ever felt like y'all sold out?
Yeah.
You did?
Me?
Yeah.
Actually, in the context of navigating new spaces as someone from the hood, selling out. Yo, is my mic on? Am I bugging? Because it's flat.
That is fly. Can you hear?
You hear me?
No.
Can you hear me?
Wait.
Something tripped up because I don't know. It's flat.
Test.
I'm talking directly into it. I'm talking directly and I keep talking. And I'm doing it.
Talk louder.
I was talking a lot louder. I guess I need to raise my voice.
You just gotta talk louder.
I gotta speak. All right, I have to speak like I'm grown.
Yeah.
Shit. All
Yeah,
right.
we ain't cutting that shit out. We gonna keep that in.
That's funny.
That's what happens behind the scenes, nigga. You gotta talk louder.
All right, my niggas,
selling
come
out.
on. Y'all ever feel like y'all sold out? Shaq, you say you sold out?
For me,
Or you ever felt like you I don't think you can sell out.
at first, I was gonna say yes, but then I'm like, I'm thinking of the Stanford context where these activists are gonna run up to you. These activists, mind you, who are already rich, got bread in their pocket, and want to play activists for these 4 years to make it cool, make themselves seem cool with like low income folks or fly kids, which is corny to me. But that's
Some
not the
legit
point.
ones, but a lot of corny ones.
Yes, a lot of
Majority
corny
corny ones.
And with those people, I feel like they'll consider you a sellout. Like, oh, you got a banking job, you got this, you got that. For me, I don't feel like that's the truth. I feel like I'm giving financial security to my parents and my family, and that way I'll be able to get back into my community with this bread that I'm making. The only time I sometimes feel like a sellout is when like they're like, yeah, there's some.
Hold up, before you even say that, let's define what selling out even is.
True.
That's real.
Like let's make sure we all on the same page as selling out.
I think growing up, I'm trying to think of the context in which I heard it.
Okay.
And honestly, it was always in the context of like, I think people was like, oh, Mama dude gonna sell out because he gonna move out. He's never gonna come back to Harlem. He's never gonna visit us. He gonna marry some white girl and live out in New Jersey.
Whoa.
Jersey.
I didn't expect the white girl shit.
I mean, that's low key the part of selling out.
And these are teachers would say it. Everybody would say
Damn,
it. So,
teachers?
Teachers.
Right,
would-
teachers.
Honestly, teachers would say it. So I think that's what I think of when I think of selling out personally, and that's how I know at least where I stand and why I haven't sold out. Because I knew that was always coming from a place of love. That was always coming from a place of like, we want you back in our community. We want to have you back. We want to be able to claim you. We want to be able to. We want you to never forget your roots. Like this village, we raised you, which is valid. So we always want you coming back. That's how I reinterpret it now. And that's how I know I haven't sold out. Regardless of where I work, I know where I'm from and I know where I'm going back to. So I personally don't ever let anyone else question that. I think selling out is when I ultimately forget where I come from. I ultimately forget that I'm Fulani. I ultimately forget that I was raised in Harlem. I ultimately forget about all of that. So I think that's what I'm
real.
selling out. If you ever see me living in Jersey, I'm joking.
Yeah, he was like, because I might.
Jersey the suburbs.
Make sure you're speaking to y'all mics, y'all.
Valid.
That's real. I always see selling out as like you're doing something that you would not be doing if it wasn't for X. You know, like you'll sell out if you like, oh, I really want to pursue like money. Money could be something that influenced you to do something other than something. Other than I don't really.
I see what you're
I don't
saying.
know if that
If
was
you-
a perfect example.
The way you describe
yeah.
it makes it like if you fucking hate fucking music, if you hate music, hate hip hop, somebody gave you a bag right now for $150K to help create music, like help out a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
That's selling out to yourself. Like you hate the shit,
Yeah.
but then you feel me? You need the money, so you compromise in that.
That's fine.
In that case, I think that's a perfect definition.
Oh, okay,
of it,
I
you
like
feel me?
that y'all fuck with that. I like that y'all fuck with that. Because I get it a lot in a sense of like, one thing that brought me out the hood was just the prospect of having money if I am a software engineer.
Facts.
Like, your boy was just on a loaner computer for my school in my room, Googling shit. And I'm like, I wonder how much software engineers make. I was like, damn, how much? After graduation? Fuck that shit. I'm going to Stanford. I'm a software engineer. Right? So I came here on that shit. Like, that's my goal. I'm like, I'm here to be a software engineer, and I'm here to make some money. Right? But, like, when you start going because to study CS here is so common, they're just like, oh, like you just chose that because that's the wave or something. Like, nah, nigga, I came here for that shit. Fuck you talking about? This is what I'm here for. Why would I choose anything else? Type of thing. So, like, when you get that first bag, and for the viewers who may not know, like, software engineers are paid, like, salary, we're talking 115 plus, like 110 plus. like high numbers.
Starting.
And we talking about internships, like you may be getting 32 plus, right? One of the early ones. So like when you first get in that bag, like it feels really fucking good, right? But I think the other thing about selling out, especially what you got to navigate, is like you got to find more than money to pursue once you got the option. Because that money don't hold weight. It's just nice for the first 1-2 paychecks, but then it's just normal. After that, or I wouldn't say 1, 2. You might have like 5, 6. It's exciting.
11, 12, 20.
It's exciting. Let's get exciting for a while. But then when that's your like expected, that's the expected value. Like you gotta find something else to motivate you, something else that's deeper. And I'm glad I found that. I ain't gonna elaborate on what it is, but I'll tell y'all someday.
How you feel, G?
Yeah, I feel like all these definitions I feel like I adhere to in some way. But at least for me, like whenever I think about selling out, it's like two different things, right? It's like my morals when it comes to like work and just like values in general, and then what you were saying in terms of like selling out to yourself, like the community that raised you and things of that nature. I think me personally, poor people should not be held accountable for selling out. And that's just a fact. And especially at this school, you just start to know. And I think this could be like a similar trend for a lot of places, is like a lot of folk are going to come up to you that have the luxury to be like, I'm not going to buy from here. I'm only going to eat this. I'm only going to work here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not the case for everybody. And if it's not the case for you, you should not feel bad about it whatsoever. The truth of the matter is, in an ideal world, we could all be working at all of these like nonprofits. You know what I'm saying? We could all be like trying to like better communities one day at a time. But a nigga can't help if they hungry, bro. Like that's facts.
Especially if for the rich folks that are telling you that if for 4 years their mom working at Google, like they only think about this shit for their 4 years here. They don't think about this shit before college, and they don't give a fuck about this shit after college. That's my opinion. So they're like, this shit's very contemporary. They want you to change your whole lifestyle based on that. But
facts.
Yeah, we potted.
How do y'all feel y'all relationships back home changed when it came to like money or like status because of your institution? How has that changed? Like, yeah.
I know one thing that it took me a while to adjust, and I still kind of don't like it, but it's like when they call you Stanford. Oh, yeah, Stanford.
And they say like that.
Right?
Stanford.
My nigga. I'm just like you. We was on the same block together. We was riding the same bikes. Like, bro, don't look at me any different ways. So, I mean, I think they do. Like, naturally, like, it's a little prospect. It's a little, like, you become, like, a golden child in a sense.
Facts.
When you, like, oh, like, oh, yeah, I got accepted to Stanford. Like, I'm full scholarship. Like, that's the shit of dreams. Like, they make documentaries about that shit.
Facts.
Right? So, like, your old friends, they rooting for you. Right? But in the same way, you don't want them to see you differently as a complete different person than, like, when y'all were both just broke niggas and kind of just chilling, right?
Yeah, I feel like on a, like, I would say, like, just like a different tip. Like, at least for me, like, my, like, circle of friends, like, thank God, like, all of them got a chance to go to college. Most of them ended up staying, like, in-state and things like that. But I feel like the major point of contention for me was, like, leaving. Like, that was the biggest thing. Like, for a lot of folks that I ended up graduating with, like, those relationships they had in high school are just that much stronger as a result of all the things they went through in college. And that's just something that I can't empathize with. So it is kind of like coming to terms with the fact that you had the privilege to have a different experience, but also trying to keep in mind that whatever that dissonance might be, whatever like angst or just like anger you might feel for someone like not treating you the way that you remember them treating you, it's like this is this is just a consequence of some higher power. Like, I want to say higher power, but definitely like of a major come up. Like that's what's about to happen.
Yeah. Well, how you feeling about it, dude?
I think about, at least I'm glad I have I feel like I have a lot of diverse friends. Some who went to college, some who didn't. Some who went to college, came back. But either way, at least I think about things I'm grateful. Contrast in our lives lived. I think a lot of it is the excess privilege that comes with going to school, going to a place like Stanford in terms of like the privileged poor. I think a lot of it is the context around. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm loud enough.
You good. Just speak into the mic. Speak into the mic.
Be it like, even I could see it like during summer internship. Even my friends, I'm thinking of my friends who went to like state schools in New York. like seeing that at the end of every summer, just because I have access to companies, I could easily get internships, right? I could easily find something to do at the end of a summer, but you still see your friends grinding in college. Like they going to college and like they're working as hard as you are at this respective university, but like it's you know how hard it is. And they're interested. Let's say I have a friend who was interested in finance, but like I was like, yo, apply to like Goldman, apply to these places, but those places don't go to school to recruit. Like, and if you email them, they're not going to respond. So I think that was the difference in knowing, like, the privilege of access. Like, I always had things to do for the summer, whereas they would go back home and, like, work a job, which is cool and everything, but at the same time is a level, which I don't know, I always try and be humble. While I'm speaking, I was trying to be conscious about it. Sometimes I don't talk about. I find myself in moments where I'm hanging around them, but I just never would talk about, like, my Stanford experience, just because
That's true. You don't want to bring that little light your way. Yeah. That's real.
Often I find myself kind of avoiding. I think that's the part that sometimes I feel guilty about. Like I would travel every break, but part of me traveling was like I don't got to go back home, and the part of not going back home is like I get to avoid talking about anything Stanford experience because I don't want to feel guilt.
That's real.
Guilt that sits there, to be honest.
That's real.
That's real. In those conversations, I always try to go second. I'll be like, oh, what you been up to, my nigga? What you been up to? Because if you go first, then it's like, oh, damn, I ain't knowing what you want, but like...
That's facts.
You know,
No,
that's
actual
facts.
facts.
Yo, bro, catch me up. I want to hear everything about you. And then I even find myself downplaying what I do. It's like, oh, yeah, I worked at a little tech company.
Yeah.
You know, doing that software engineering shit. Yeah. You know, I just been grinding.
That's real. Like, and like my boys have got on me for that. Like my boy Mo, you feel me? My boy Mo Debo, like my boys Rich, Chris, you feel me? My sons like get on me for that. Like my nigga, take pride in what you're doing, but at the same time, like that lack of resources is real. Like you feel me? Like I got homies at U Albany, homie at U Wisconsin, homie at Ithaca College that I try to give resources back to. Whether that's like cool, one of my mentors works at City, so I'm gonna try to put homie onto an internship. Like that's my biggest thing. Or like I know a recruiter, so I can get them in touch. That's my biggest thing, and I work hard on doing that, on giving back resources. But my issue, and my biggest issue is like at the end of the day, I am a college student, so like it's tough almost because sometimes my friends have told me this. It feels like I'm selling dreams, of like. Yo, bro, you want this internship at Google, bro? Like, bro, it's gonna be so dope. And then we start talking about how their life gonna be, how much bread they're gonna get. And then they apply, and then it's like, oh, you haven't made it past like the second round, like because you know of whatever factors, and that shit hurt because they feel like, damn, bro, you made me feel like I could get it though. I could have had that, and I be forgetting like I'm privileged. So me like somebody see my name on paper and they see Stanford next to it, they gonna think different things at the end of the day, regardless of anything. So like these dreams I'm having and the expectations I have, like, nah, this company gonna hire my son. Fuck these niggas talking about, you feel me? It like sometimes it don't happen because it's like I'm not in the recruiter's shoes, you feel me? Yeah. And that's really fucked up to say, but it's real. Like I really want these companies, big ass Google, all these niggas like to really start recruiting from these smaller schools as well, like a U Albany, like really start showing love to these schools because they're brilliant individuals from there as well. You feel me?
True. And that goes back to the same thing we were talking about universities. Like when they're letting people in, like expand your profile for what you think a qualified applicant is.
That's a fact.
Like it's qualified people every fucking way.
Yeah. I promise you there's a few niggas at Stanford dumb as hell. Like I've been in class with a few of them. Like
I could have put my nigga in for that.
Y'all know who you are. I know y'all niggas know who you are, bro.
But like, I think about the privileged avenues of getting in here. Because even if you're talking about like even my situation of like going to public school, whatever, like how I still did programs. There are these programs for like low income students, and you do them while you're in high school. But sometimes there's a program that you just do just for a summer, which is what I did.
Facts.
It was this dope ass program. Lita, shout out to you. I love you.
Shout out Lita.
Lita is a verified fly.
Yeah, it's like verified. That nigga Poe.
So Lita is this amazing program. You do it for a summer, right? Highly recommend if you listen to this and you're a high school junior, apply, bro. This shit will change your life. But they basically prep you. They beef you up for your college application. And then you do that program, and after you do that, low key, your life is glistening. Because afterwards, you get into mad places because they help you with your essays and everything. And that applies to kids who like do programs like Prep for Prep in New York. So basically, these kids go to private schools in upstate New York and stuff. So since 9th grade onwards, all they're doing is college prep. So the thing is, universities try and hire kids like that, and then they say, "Look at all these poor kids we hired." It's like, nah. Those kids are a little up a pair. Let's acknowledge that. Right? So you really find somebody, like, and I say it for a fact, on any college campus, you really find somebody who got in here, like via just completely by themselves. They like Googled the Common App Stanford and applied. Like that is.
I ain't really had. I ain't really had a program.
It's fly.
Yeah, I mean, like what?
A majority of kids on this campus aren't LEADA. Like they didn't have that shit going
or
up.
mites, or they did a fly-in.
Nah.
Here. Let's keep this in the room. Let's keep. What program did I do?
I know exactly. You're a rare. You are one of the rare kids.
What program did I do?
Yeah, what program did Shaq do?
Did you do Cornell?
I would put you at the HV.
Cornell's summer program was a paid, like the school just paid for it, and you go there, and that like you just take a class.
That's interesting.
That's like taking a class at like Columbia during the summer, or like taking a class.
I feel like generally what he's talking about is like summer enrichment. You talking about like summer enrichment type stuff?
I'm talking about programs that prep you for college. The reason why,
I don't think that.
Yeah, because that didn't edit his essays.
That did
I feel like
HVA does a lot.
That's a high school. Like my HVA, I operated just like any other public school.
But we get what you're saying. We get what you're saying, though. We get what you're saying, but
I'm thinking about people who just came from public school, never heard or learned about these schools, / are just learning about them, have to go through the entire college process without any college advisor that's supporting them. That is a rarity to find on college campuses. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying they're rare.
I feel like
we'll do a survey.
This is. I think that there might be like some sort of like disagreement, but I feel like generally speaking, the more overrepresented voices in the fly space tend to be these people. Because I feel like generally speaking, like especially like at places like at schools where they tell you what fly means, first gen low income. By the way, y'all.
Thank you for
that. It's a whole identity, geared towards like trying to make sure that a lot of perspectives are being included in spaces, things like that. But like, I didn't know how to vocalize fly before LEADA. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
true. They gave y'all the vocabulary.
They give you the vocabulary to articulate things. So when I come here, like I know exactly where I'm going. Like if I see anything related to fly, first and low income, like that's where I'm going, and those are the spaces that I'm gonna inhabit. So I feel like what we're also thinking about specifically is LSP too, low key. But like it's just like a whole bunch of stuff.
Pre-getting into college.
Pre-college, I don't think that's true at all, to be honest.
For me, the people who do LEADA, the people who do mites, who do prep, they're the minority, but they're the loudest voices because they're used
to
they're used to being the loudest, and they're used to know about college.
Because you could talk about it. Like you could talk about it.
I could see all the other fly students being more so invisible, and those people like invisible in the sense that we don't see them in the fly community because they don't know about it. And then I can see them being the majority, but we don't hear from them as much, or they like discover it.
I feel like it also might be one of those situations where like our entire friend group is fly. And like that is
We'll hit We the Flip email list with the survey. We'll verify it.
That'd be solid.
We'll verify it. All right, y'all. We fucking podded today. I want y'all to know that. We fucking podded today. I hope every episode is like this.
Word.
Every episode
like I was like, ooh. I was like, this.
That was nice, man. So let's start closing this shit out.
How your headache?
You said what?
How your headache?
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
I would have thought we all saw that shit.
Nah, that's diversity right there. Diversity of thought.
Diversity and diversity.
All right, my nigga, hit me with some air horns.
Oh yeah. He said he want the horns.
Thank you. All right, y'all. So this brings us up to our. We gonna do this consistently. At the end of every episode, we gonna drop some free game for y'all niggas out there. Free game we gonna put y'all on. If you don't make it through the entire episode, make sure you come to the end.
Free game.
Make sure you come hear this.
Seriously, bro.
I don't know how y'all want to listen to this, y'all daily walk or some shit. But we gonna give y'all about an hour of content, maybe a little bit more.
We've been here for an hour?
Yeah, we've been here for an hour, yo.
Y'all niggas lucky.
Right? So you may fall off around a 30-minute or something. Go ahead and skip to the end. Make sure you pick these motherfuckers up. All right, so this one. Get you a side hustle. You need some type of way to opt in the money. Like I need about $50 real quick. You need some go-to. Something else that's less than a loan. Just a way to make money. So we going to go around. I feel like every nigga around here got some side money.
I'm gonna tell you, the one that immediately come to mind is that shit we do every fall. It's called GGU. Easy.
I got bad relations with them.
Basically, like this is like you hit them up, and essentially GGU, we could put a link somewhere, or whatever. But every fall, the thing is, they're a company based out of China, and they edit Chinese students' essays. So because you speak English, and you can edit essays, and it's not even like heavy grammar or whatever. They send you these essays, and you get paid like $15 an hour to edit them, and it's self-reported too. So
lie. That's what that means. Lie.
Embezzled.
Basically, you do that essay, you send it back, and then you self-report the time, and then you can make bank. So you do these all over fall, and it kind of goes into winter.
Let me know if y'all want to do that, cause I ain't gonna tell y'all that. Nah, I'ma tell them. We get the referral bonus. So go ahead, and let me know. I'll split it with you. I'll split it with you if you kind enough to let me know, and I'll refer your ass.
That's easy money. You can come up with some good stuff. DGU every fall and winter. Get on that.
That's good. My side hustle. My most prominent one is your boy Rafiki 360.
Yeah.
Blessing head since 2016.
Look at the face.
2016.
Look at the
Show
face.
them. I'm gonna zoom in on
Look
that.
at the
That's your
face.
product right there. Yo, so if you cutting hair, if you braiding hair, if you washing hair, I don't know if people pay for that. You threading eyebrows, whatever y'all do.
That's real. That's real.
I did not expect that shit.
That
dog.
service economy is money
That
out
is.
there, and you can sell to your friends.
Did you sign up for a thing? How did
Hell
you
nah,
learn?
go to YouTube.
Exactly.
Go to YouTube.
Facts.
You gonna fuck up. Mama do was my fuck up head for a minute.
Don't be looking at my hairline.
No.
Nobody on my hair.
I do that. I'm saying, we was in the bathroom. I was.
Practice round.
You gotta refine your skills. But when you good, bro, I'm telling you, get your money, get your bag up, get your money up, not your funny up. Fuck you talking about.
Brown morning, nigga. What the fuck was that? Who did that one?
Like a lizard, boy.
I would say for me, the side hustle, y'all see it, nigga, on the table and shit. Like, nigga became a DJ. It really,
The DJ Fat Flash.
it started with this man over here. Like, you feel me? Came in freshman year. The Get Down had just dropped recently. Like, and like before that, through all my college trips, I was reading the rap epistemology. So I was reading about the rap game since jump, how it formulated, all that stuff. And I was getting really interested. Homie said, yo, I'm interested in DJing, bro. This shit look dope to me. And I bought him a board. I think it was for your birthday.
Yeah.
Copped him a board for his birthday. And homie was going hard. Like, homie was doing his thing with it, like, for real. And that really encouraged me to, you know, start my own joint, too. And, like, I really love this shit. This shit is really dope. This shit is really cool. Shout out to the best DJ on campus. DJ Amanda Rose. Yo, Cookie. For the community.
Hit that
That
shit.
ass. You really do great for the community. Like, we really love the work you do.
Facts.
Like, that ass. But, like, DJing definitely, it pays well, you feel me? Like, it's nice. Like, that ass. Like, 2 hours, you get a nice little bit summer change. And then I got folks at the dining hall who pay me as well, you feel me? So, it'd be dope. Get
your money.
Yes, sir.
That's facts. Yeah, I think on my tip, yeah. So my biggest side hustle was definitely DJing. Kind of just to like reiterate the whole like learning thing, like that was all YouTube and trial and error. And then like as you start moving up, you just start to find random people that could like help you learn and everything. But one that like low key, like it's probably one of my more understated. I don't think I've talked to y'all about it much.
No, talk to us
But
about it now.
I ended up learning how to use this like laser cutter on wood and everything. It's as easy as dragging and dropping PNGs and JPEGs, all this stuff onto like this super accessible like software.
For real.
And then like it just does the thing on the wood, and I like sold it for like $5 to $10 each
Who do
one.
you sell it to? Who's
It was
buying
mainly
this?
like white folk.
This nigga on Etsy. This nigga on Etsy.
Like, man.
But yeah, this just to say, especially like, I don't know, man. Fly niggas fly, bro. Like, on God, bro. Like, FLY, nigga. Like, like y'all know what looks good. Y'all know what type of, like, shit is cool, bro. Like, I know niggas be saying, like, art is, like, you know, like, subjective and all this shit, bro. But niggas know what the fuck is up. So, feel free to market that shit. Talk about your narrative. Talk about your narrative. Your narrative. And then work that out, you know?
That's funny as fuck.
Make sure you get paid for
Funny
your
as fuck.
time, man. Don't be
That's
giving it out
facts.
for free.
I got
All
the
right, y'all.
sniffles, I'm sorry.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, man.
We
Episode 1.
You want to end it off on a little exit track?
Man, turn that shit on. Drop that shit, nigga.
Let me shout out my son Minx. Shout out High Serve. Feel me? Let me shout out my son Minx too. We got this new drip fashion for y'all. You feel me? We gonna play
Drop that shit. Yo, we gonna see y'all next time.
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, man.
Indubitably.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Come on, share this shit. Yo, like and subscribe on our YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Follow us on Instagram. Where we point, we gonna put this motherfucker right here.
Wow.
Right
See it
here, just
already.
like
I can
this.
see
It's
it
gonna be a
already.
nice ass
I'm
red
not gonna put
button.
a finger up because then
right
you're
here.
gonna have multiple buttons and shit. You know how it is.
Nah.
Yo, this that new
It's gonna be one
Minx.
button.
You
Yo.
can get this shit on Spotify.
Drop
Feel
that
me?
shit.
This shit coming right now at you.
Drip, 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 fashion. Drip, 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 fashion.
Cloud Beats.
Drip, 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 fashion. Drip, 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 fashion. Drip, 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 fashion. Drip, 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 fashion. I like the drip, I like the fashion. Need me some whips, I'ma start.
Yeah.
F1 done.
Wow.